Normal kan nam kan as the alan content ba jaw me ba link no online TV channel to kon kaler mi jidit me bukon link ler jidit ban link rojan inshallah da kuma kirma yadit ka roje jege je kan lat pan kaja me lar kan o te kan warte jiäk kan warte go shirke video nen yana mo ba jaw da ba jale bi yok bi ajalin man dan lat kana ken yam kan kono yam mi jiram jidit kan online TV channel gorjen o gender subscribe kade notification bell der jatwain ko misler titi shop de kan chamala shub kiji gwad dan pai kala rech anyok and wo subscribe nyo the support ka jen nor online TV channel me bana jome bana link do badan en chaje non ka je ki do badan de kon ya link je la kuma jani kuma kirma yadi chikanon no de kan dur lar kade kan lot kam en lar kan no ete kan wate jiäk kan wate go chikanon no de kan lat ala kuma kirma yadi on jalong no dar ka dak shirma ngayen no kan di ala kon lat kan no te ka hostile counties e friendly counties and it take a bad Nuer ke good Nuer na many they only want to create division a dagnijan logor kan ode Nuer de kan talot ke de karodian dak so en mandan let kan jene shaling no ne me do badan gor kan obi kan section kel kan Nuer be kan anek ki be kan genocide karoja dan en lat kenem ko ne me kan man to kono ka kume me binna inad be ka dak de kan idin konti la jiwe ke dor kel ko ele dagan to section eno ete ka kanti ne ke witi ti elokan ne ka witi ti no kan kon wo jeno misikan ngajeno min nasir min look kuma which mean that we can din with can an nasir we can nasir we can crash we can nak we can yo ka dor do yan we can yo ka wujin we can yo mo kan nak pin so on do mo ben wer we can shari yet wer bu should tell power ke bu should tell long so na me a tactic ke strategy me we can worry we can marginalize ke je ke we can rule ke je quick night kontila nuwer en kontere kuma ren gor kirma yadit quick kan mandan lero den tam eno ba ye ba kantini ba ka dak nyin kunten kon kulen de tenen ka hostile e ke ne di jiäk men yan ba jaga ko yene di jiäk ba re video gona me shikana hon roje me lat kene ke je laten wo de kan do bdan de kan ale ke gwa ke je malalar ke no jakana ko ba balang jakalo inat ko be chot de me chot na me kana plan already it became a lot. And in South Sudan government right kirma yadid already enemy Nuer community alla me la roda ke 2013 jalla roda man tama kajan gor kirmon go balat so ko kujamo gor jendo bana yiga careful it doesn't matter man lat kena malat kena chikan lat nena kan nungi kena nena can nation eluno kune categorize ni wool Nuer community but some section so me take some section we categorize in me je which mean that again the same as tell apology me chikan lat. Okay, tell our apology. Would I mean right guada me again a cabinet minister, okay? Ramkel can even contain right, but Ramedan Elado Nueri, it take a very jug and where go, and a melaro nene. Nasser ulang akubo nyirol uror fangaga YouTube kona ke panyajar kantis wai ka style kantis ke witi jiäk ka jak ke chelar no nene mai ulung shu gwit ler mayandit coach ke mayom ano ke ke friendly kantis ke witi go ala leveling me nyod jenu ala dictator on chal kire guru dar no dar kanak but ken yam baga konda ka biga te ka tare kam niken ba kulu te ka gwan mo ben work community baga shu na ka je gole ngayene what divided home wa cha te kamal dor mi chore dak cha te kamal ati daglahana jen dan let kin ma yadi den ngum lar jeno nasir ulanga ko be ke nyirol uror fangak a YouTube kona ke fanya jarno ken ke bad Nuer people ke bad Nuer counties ke be lar no lunga shuk my wood ler ke gwit mayandit koch ke mayom no ke ne to go ke Nuer to go anu nagana ke shikarit ajana mona shimi wangana me shange kanasir ngumi shikana lat andara ajan jak ko buka friendly mako jakane ken ko nakake so chana jo me chana jeling lat kana gwata me they try so I don't know they can realize go bat chelere no mo chana jeling lat kana
with respect the reference to hostile community does not mean the collective community, but as the honorable minister has mentioned, this is an organized group that attacked the barrack, as we have seen, and of course this is taken care of under Chapter 5, which calls for reconciliation.
Now, a reconciliation mete reconciliation lor no lo marka milare jeno ne ti jiäk ne ti go which mean that a lie tell me surely reconciliation at this point kamana an shikana lat so jin me de gana the reconciliation der kulo bene de la reconciliation ke mala la la no yene content ci kon ni chana mal chana jalat shin ga ya jugo no yene ke yen unfriendly ke yen bad people jin mukune to chol ke ne rija kala de jeno we are calling for reconciliation. What can you reconcile? This is a misleading message. I don't know whether muraje can tin content chagora can kon guje go no na me e totally wrong malada me zero. Tell me she can apologize and jin mi jograna to jin e bukon mal bukon lar kale lo jogono jin unfriend ke jin bad friend ke jin ramu jiäk anguluren ma na meni lad na bang chana jeling
of communities. The agreement was signed in 2015, as we know it. It collapsed in 2016 and revitalized in 2018. This was meant to consolidate peace and security. But we haven't seen this happening.
Yeah. Tell mal la to ko shukum kirma yadi chamal chejelok ko en male tange jen ku dakring ma char gor jen mal dere tenene ba lokire kir la jala ni shangano tele mutual transitional government in 2018 peace agreement man shall revitalized peace agreement jen a symbol jen ki dorme just gui yene jabang no te mal ben ba tele mal so a symbol me shikana ki something chikana designate ke shikana design no better tamo because South Sudan community became a kula mislate don't take a mal magor ka ba tele mal listen to kajadan balat gwadam biajeling gwadam.
That is why the incident of Nasser has sparked this level of political crisis.
Look, agent Jack dung reka jitu ka Nasser ko bebenon mena namaling Native Continental Nuer Nasser, Raja Chikan Chicken, Kir Jogono, Kira Ko, Jin Kwar South Sudan, non unified force, national army, Chikana look, what is Mishi Ote Dwardodian Magor Keneja.
So, what this document does, it calls for government to sit back, address this issue through a political process, which is why it calls for security to be strengthened.
What security? Tell us security.
Electoral mechanisms to be supported so that we can have elections.
Now, tell me, tell me, shall I Queen Guinea 2026? Again, ala kira, ala mellet kɛnɛ, ala me jakkan which great apnal state western bargazalko be jiäk, o gurkan o shimal cha Queen Guinea charge balat. No, Gurkano bigger to Canadian one bigger support. But can here they are defending lie. Lie me George, kite me George or Koganana, who can it defend? So, Naikona Michael Makuilo la Kanya Kajalo take a Muguamulat, but all of this they are propaganda catch provocated work. Okay, tell a Muguam the thing kind and the other conlat can young fankin.
Period. And indeed political parties that are signatory to the peace agreement were expected to organize themselves to participate in elections that were meant to have been held a year ago. However, one of these political groups, as mentioned, the SPLM-IO, refused to participate through the implementation of the peace agreement and instead insisted on running a parallel military.
Nana Kajame, Ikene SPLM-IO can recon a long mal. Na chikana ogwan kama nana tuoka Nasser chika request la chikana look and point and kirmi yadi. Ikene SPLM-IO logoman. This is what chwer thief la dole de la menge je take a be look be gwantong. This is Georgia long and kajadan lat kana gwa SPLM-IO can recon a local mal. Ikene de ala loko ba revitalize the peace agreement by the time. Can me Georgia day tell a talk yatin. Now, kai kana kai already Georgia long na me Georgia long. Man we mon ba there ngat kana
civilians. So the hostility that we have seen with communities is evidently supported by some of the partners to the peace agreement. That's why they have been influenced to attack military installations. And the remedy to this, as the continuation of the peace agreement calls for, is to emphasize on reconciliation. which is a reconciliation of communities as articulated in Chapter 5. So I thought that needed to be emphasized, that we are not referring to the collective as a community, but that communities have been organized, supported by SPLM-IO to attack military installations. So those ones, of course, are evidently hostile, and the government, when the implementation progresses, will engage them through reconciliation processes. I think the investigation has been adequately mentioned, and what we need to know as journalists is that there's a lot of information on media that you're already aware of.
Gwa kuma kiir mayardit malara ke liwa kai tele tong mleten ko kaneden konen kwa problem kwa orchestrated kane konen kwa ngwana kwa instigate ke talk will be corbedeten gwa de dan community measure ke jogo no yenno national unified force ke national army chikene look what do they expect anyok kalais ni chang teten enemy mete ka territory mala kana nyingi jike ni chang so ka cha jogo no ko tam unified force lat ke je kwane no unified force logaje neme tactica kiro no che gor no ba unified force ke national army ba jelat ko ngeje wa lat betel jen point kir betel power ba te raina ene dan jen lena ngoni ke kan pa dialati ke jong dial chuti no e chi de jime defect e chi ne te de e chi ne de o jen gore je kuma ke le be power bo to gwat kel jen kwala shola centralized power ala power mo te gwa kel karwar bo consolidating taram beto re biele lef so mishi we le beto jin politician ke in community na be jagde be na ko right now already chaya ngajun mon no kir is a killer naganen ware taram pala so ko kuja mo malat kira gwada me zero tele kan ka apologize they did not apologize tele mishi kanalat me de lar no ken de kabuno ken shika dweri kana tel dweri kana they are defending themselves by the way tele mishi kanalat you know and we shall ke Dr. Lumoro chamija ke shabalong niyo banwer ba ka categorize and wo en warite ko style ike friendly can't is kanwari so rama mo ramate ramija and order nas de level o style wulang akobo nyirol uror fan gaga Europe kona ke panyijar ike kantin tin konen jek okay ke ko style kanti jaga mai wood ke lungu chu good lair mayandit coach kana mai yomono ke we to go ko ne ti jakan were ko naka ke gwit kana telam lar kana jalar kana no so they are happy they are not apologizing on my side ngaje gwanu tele dwer mi kana lar men dani kan lat anyok Dr. Lumoro mi yen wer goni no biya gwije puch and ram kel mi ne men wer en me biya ngaj de shi ngaj kan ir kontila na leskan wer dial shi kan lar no ne me tactic me ban wer ba kan ne ge chente me man to ga fan gag ba jen nong deñ mi di long ba na se ba nong deñ mi di long lo ba kan na gole wal ne ti they are sitting watching my wood lungu chu good lair my andit kojen my yom bit kan gwad mo kwan wer kwa gala na ko ke wi dang baro kan tin dang baro ya la go ke ka friendly ka government quick and know this is a tactic way of eliminating them later so jana na go de nyaa kel please share it nyaa ka ne ko ken ko shi parwe jan wo subscribe ya ta kamal bye bye